The Data Importer plugin lets you import data into Author-it from an external source and create topics using this data. It works much like a mail merge. To use the plugin, you specify the external data source, for example, an Excel worksheet or an Access database. In Author-it, you create a boilerplate topic that contains fields that reference the columns in the spreadsheet's workbook or the fields in a database table. The topic can contain other boilerplate text, including tables, images, and specifying styles. When you run Data Importer, it creates a topic for each row in the spreadsheet and merges values from the worksheet. Data Importer writes the IDs for the topics that have been created back to the data source. This means that you can rerun the import and any existing topics for the records are updated. This demo is a simple import which creates topics in Author-it for each record in an Access database table. The same principles shown here work for an Excel spreadsheet. In this database we have the products table. We are simply going to create a topic in Author-it for each row in the table. We also need to determine a key or ID for the table. This will be used by the Data Importer to map the records in the table to the topics that are created in Author-it. In this case, we're going to use the product code field as the ID. These mappings are stored in another table in the database. This table can be called anything you like, but it must only have two fields and they must be called Internal ID and Author-it ID. You should never manually modify this table. In Author-it, we have a boilerplate topic. It is just a normal topic, but has fields that reference the field names in the database. They're similar to Author-it variables, however we surround them in double square brackets. When the import is run, the value from the field will be inserted into each placeholder. You can use the fields in the description and the topic text. You can format your topic using any other text, file objects, table styles, just as you would a normal topic. Now we're ready to run the Data Importer. We select the folder where we want the topics to be created. You start the Data Importer from the Import ribbon tab. First we select the type of data source, in this case an Access database. Next we select the external data source, the database itself. The next screen is an important one. We need to select which table we want to import from, the field that we want the importer to use as the ID for each record, and the object ID of the boilerplate topic in Author-it. On the next screen, we just need to select the table we created in the database to store the mappings to the Author-it topics. After it is finished, you can now see we have a topic in Author-it for each record in the database. The values from the fields have been substituted in. If the data source was updated with new or changed information, we can run the Data Importer again using the same settings, and any updated records will be reflected in the existing topics, and any new records will have a topic created for them. Data Importer also has more advanced features such as grouping records in the data source into single topics, for example having a table listing all products in a particular category, automatically creating hyperlinks to topics created for other records in the data source, reusing existing hyperlink objects in the library in the data source text, and embedding topics that are created from the records in the data source. For more detailed information about the Data Import plugin, please visit www.seg-consult.com. You can also contact me through the website if you have any other questions or would like a trial or purchase the plugin.